trying to, what he did, the choices, the decisions he made to not speak on things that he did know about was to keep from influence of the election, like when Comey did the Hillary thing. That's my recollection. So, yeah, he did know some things, but what did he do wrong? And whatever the decisions that he made, how are they now treasonous? It's crazy to me. But they are using that word on purpose.
They're not.
Because that's the one that that's the only one that would hold weight, I believe, from the Supreme Court's decision. That's the only reason they're using the word. A treasonous act would not get immunity, I believe, as far as what the Supreme Court decided, and that's the only reason they're using it. But how is holding information, and the other thing was he was saying that he was being spied on. Yeah, they did have to look into some things to determine if he was colluding or whatever else Mueller's report said. And so I just don't think those things will hold up. Any of it will hold up. And y'all know whatever Donald Trump said, somebody mentioned the White House, what happened in the White House today. I don't know anything about it, but if Donald Trump was talking, what we do know is he was running his mouth. If it was open, he was lying.
He's disgusting. He needs to get out of office immediately.
What happened in the White House today? I don't see anything on.
Oh, he had the president of the Philippines there. Of course, he didn't speak to the president of the Philippines. He spoke about Biden. Then he went off on Epstein. Yeah, no, he had the president of the Philippines there, and then he actually had the audacity to say that he would be okay if the Philippines, had a relationship with China. Of course, they have a relationship with China. I was like, who are you to be telling another country if they have a right to do business with China?
See, all right. I was just saying, we're not going over right now what he said. I'm saying the fact that his mouth was open, he was lying.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about yet. We haven't heard it yet.
I'll try to find that clip.
It's just really rude. It's really rude for him to be.
Girl, shut up. You ain't seen rude yet.
No, she's talking about Trump.
No, she's talking about me. She just talking about me in the chat.
No, I was talking about the way Trump was speaking to the president of the Philippines. I wasn't talking about you, Deborah. In the chat I was.
Yeah, my apologies.
It's my apologies. Yeah, so no, that was not meant to be you. I was.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to while I'm doing this, I'm gonna try to locate that particular. If he's talking about Obama, in that particular interview or whatever, he's meeting with the Of course, we want to see what he said.
Yeah, he's talking about Obama. I posted a few things in the chat where he's saying that they caught Obama right-hand there. Obama committed treason. They need to arrest Obama and all that shit.
When he was talking with the Philippine.
Yeah, less than an hour ago. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to find that. Dang. They're not posting it right now, and they're running something live. But I know I can't rewind it.
Thread videos on thread. I'll post some thread videos on the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
The news is kind of going crazy right now. I mean, after what he just said.
I'll try to find it. I'm just looking at this stuff right now, and I see. Let me just cue it up. There's something on YouTube about him being with the Filipino president right now, the Philippines president right now. Let me go and investigate it. Y'all can jump in, but I don't want to play it if he's not talking about what we're talking about right now. So let me go look at it. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
All right, everybody in the history of this country, you know one thing. So even if Obama did know something, let's not forget, he was the first African-American president, non-white president in a white supremacist country. If he did know something or say something or choose not to say anything, we all know, we don't have to ask him, we don't need no proof. He did it to protect himself, Michelle Obama, and his daughters. He wouldn't say nothing to get them hurt or killed. And honestly, I believe that's acceptable. You see, but when you have a white man in a white supremacist country not wanting to give up information about Epstein in a white supremacist country, it's a totally different thing. to admit to it or not. I mean, I'm not going to hold Obama accountable for saying something that or not saying something in order to keep his family from being assassinated, as compared to a white man in this country who really has nothing to fear from the white supremacists, except for even white supremacists are not going to support a pedophile.
But Daryl, how was Obama going to say something? He left office in 2016 or 2017 January. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't he arrested in 2019? How would he have said something?
He was arrested under Trump's
Yeah.
when Trump. But the thing is, a lot of people, I've heard other Republicans speak. They're like, if there was issues with Trump, it would have come out in the Biden, during the Biden, when he was president. And the reality is that it may not have, because the thing is, just like what Gerald was saying, is that they also, we also have to respect our previous. I don't know. There's an element of, I don't know that level of which they make decisions around, but you have to wonder, why did this come out? And perhaps maybe it was because they were trying to hold it back because Trump's name was exposed so many times. I mean, at some point, other presidents do respect the previous presidents of the United States of America, because that's normally what our history has done, even if they're different parties. That's the shameful thing. And they created this whole conspiracy theory. So they created this whole problem for themselves. I didn't even realize that they were making this such a big issue. I mean, I think it's disgusting, frankly, like the whole Epstein thing. It is unbelievable, but I didn't know that this was part of they were actually promoting this during when Trump was actually running for election. So new news to me. But I'm not exactly happy to hear it, because it's not fun to hear, because this is reality. This did happen. It happened to white women, actually, a lot of them, and people, and that's why the Me Too movement came out. Not only white women, all colored women, by far, but I'm just saying it's really wrong. It's really sick, but they caused this conspiracy theory to blow back on them. And now, so that's the sad thing. And it's sad for the women, and no one's even talking about the women and the girls. And that's the saddest thing about that.
So the original arrest was actually during the second term of George W. Bush. It was way back. And that's when Acosta, who became labor secretary under Trump, gave him like the most ridiculous, softest deal of all time. And completely pulled the rug out from underneath these girls and young women who had been, trafficked, raped, violated in all kinds of ways, and were looking for, some modicum of justice, and he basically screwed them over. So this story goes way, way, way back. I think it's important to remember that this isn't since 2019. Like that deal that Epstein got back in 2007 or 2008 is a really big part of this, and it's telling that Trump decided to hire this guy as his labor secretary, a whole 8 or 9 years later.
And also,
it was not qualified for that role at all.
You also have to reflect too that Pam Bondi, state of Florida. That's who gave the state of Florida is who gave him the deal. He got 12 hours in prison, 12 hours to go. That was the first. And actually, I think part of that agreement was that his people that helped him were I don't know what the term is for it right now. It's not coming to my mind. That's, I think, what Ghislaine was trying to, they were actually, no one else, the agreement was that no one else would have to go to prison, is my understanding, something of that nature. A very exceptional prison term, 12 hours in, 12 hours out per day.
I think the wisest thing we can do is push back on anyone who claims to be Christian. And that is a reason for supporting Trump, because this makes their claims of Christianity absolutely empty. And I really think Democrats in general spend too much time using knives at a gunfight. This is time to pull out the big guns, and the big guns is, if you are true to your faith, you cannot support this kind of activity. And if that one doesn't work, then every man who is a father of a daughter needs to be said, what if that was your daughter?
Thanks for that, Alan. Very
woman.
well said. Okay, hold on, you guys. I found the thing, so go ahead and finish your thoughts. I'll see.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have to say, for for once in my life, I actually agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene stance. I cannot believe I would ever say that in my entire life.
I can't believe you said it right now.
Well, no, because she wants it all to come out. She's appalled by it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen her last, and actually I was quite impressed because she didn't sound crazy manic, but she sounded calmly, so this is appalling.
We don't have to give credit to monsters. It's okay. We can be on the same side as people who aren't horrific and not give horrific people credit. It's really allowable. I don't understand this desire to align yourself with the other side in moments like this. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't actually going to push for accountability. She's not actually an ally.
She actually is. She is the one. She is speaking up, though. I appreciate that.
Well, that's just because not every white supremacist wants to be recognized as a pedophile.
That part is true. That part.
Right. And then I wonder whatever happened to the judicial system, even in public opinion, right? So all these people talking about, it don't make no sense for this to come out or that to come out. Oh, well, hell, shit. Everything needs to come out. It needs to come. I mean, if Trump didn't do nothing, okay, let it come out and say he didn't do nothing. Don't just say, this going on here and we was doing this, we was doing it. We need to know. We all need to know.
So Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson said.
They let you know everything else. They let you know everything else, right?
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, thank you, Dab. Dab, handle the stage for a minute while I'm trying to get this clip together.
Hey, man, she can go, man.
No, I'm not trying to cut you, but I just watched Speaker Johnson to the House GOP give Trump time to deal with Epstein. He's dead. Give Trump time to deal with Epstein. That's what Michael Johnson said. That's what he's saying.
How
give
are you
Trump
falling
time
for that?
That's what's on CNN right now. It's on CNN right now.
Do you really think Mike Johnson, who owes his entire power to Donald Trump,
I don't think
who carries water for Donald Trump all the time, is going to be the person to hold Donald Trump accountable if there's things to hold him accountable
Do you think
for? He's the man running interference. It's like you're literally talking about the person who's going to be part of the cover-up and being like, "Isn't it great?
Give
We're doing transparency."
Time
it's
to
absolute yes. What
dead.
he's doing.
Epstein is dead. Give Trump time.
I know. What I'm saying is Mike Johnson. You're giving credit to people for saying in public that pedophilia is bad, which is like saying the sky is up and the earth is down. Giving participation trophies to Republicans in this moment is maddening. Why would we do that?
Yes.
Pedophilia is the absolute most basic standard. It's like saying murdering people is bad. No, you get 0 points for that.
And
okay, cool. You showed up, and all that means is that you're not going to get lumped in with other horrific people who are defending the practice and not trying to expose the Johns who are part of the trafficking of girls and young women. You get 0 points. Stop giving them credit, please.
But that was no credit. I just think it's just completely asinine that he would say that. Give Trump time to deal with Epstein. He's dead. I mean, he has to deal with what he's done, is what Trump has.
And we have to deal with Donald Trump, and we have to get the son of a gun out of office as soon as possible. Now. And I think maybe what we should do, and I will be happy to work with Lisa on this if she's interested, but if they're going to stop the House, then we should have 24/7 hours rooms in Clubhouse about this so that everywhere they turn, they cannot get away with it.
I agree. I don't mind working with anybody collaborating on this, but I don't. Alan, 24 hours. We closed our room at 4 a.m. and reopened this room because of this evidence that came out with gasoline. It's just, to me, this man has literally single-handedly destroyed this country.
Exactly.
We are the laughing stock of the world.
Exactly.
People are looking at us. We were supposed to be the greatest country in the world. And how is that possible when you have this person at the helm? How is that possible? Every single day there's some crazy, dumb disrespectful shit coming out of the White House. We've accomplished nothing but the immigrants stopping them. Okay, I can admit that, okay, they said no one's coming over the border. There's definitely an immigration problem or situation going on in this country. So now that the border has been tamed, it was never open, but now that they have stopped the illegal crossings are down to almost whatever they're saying, nothing. And who's to believe that? We don't even know if the numbers are correct of what he's talking about. Now we're shipping people all over the world. They're coming into, from what I'm understanding, they're coming into New York because of a sad situation that happened with one of the agents where he was shot in the face. So now they're going to flood New York, and I don't know how that's going to look, trying to find immigrants. And the way they're going to do it, how the profiling is set up, is the way where you work, whatever that means, how you look, how you sound. Now imagine that going on in New York. It's going to be a shit show because everybody looks, sounds, and works in places that you would consider immigrants to be somewhere around, right? So that's going to be a shit show in itself. But other than that, what exactly has happened, except for the ingratiation of President Donald Trump and his family with money, with kickbacks, with grifts? What exactly has happened? We're getting ready to take food from people who need food in a country where the population is obese, and we throw away food we throw away food every day in this country. We destroy crops in this country every fucking day, but we want to make it our priority to take away, number one, food. Then number two, healthcare. In a country this rich, where we have the richest man in the world walking around here, running through our government who wasn't elected, running through our personal information, we are concentrating on taking away healthcare from people that need health care, and the parameters that they're setting are already in place right now. You do have to work to be on Medicaid if you meet the parameters. If there are other parameters that you met where you don't have to work, if you're handicapped or you're in a certain age group. So I don't know what we're doing right now here.
Hey, breaking news, Lisa. You mind?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Your Honor. Thank you.
So, Mike Johnson, so the headline on NewYorkTimes.com right now is Johnson to shut down House until September to avoid Epstein vote. So basically, there was I think it's called something petition. A discharge petition, that's what it's called. And so basically, this is where House members can force a vote by getting enough signatures and without needing the Speaker to sign off on it. And so he's literally shutting down the House early for the summer break just to avoid this vote. So they're just trying to buy them time, which is bananas. Like, that is, because
it's gonna work.
It was supposed to be until,
You're right.
I don't think they were supposed to go on break until, was it the end of the week? I think it's the end of the week.
It won't work if we don't let it work.
It's just politically, it's going to work. It's going to stir the pot, though. It's not going to address the issue that's Lisa's talking about, and that New York is about to find out, and LA knows.
But we might not put it past the budget, though. Do you also understand that?
Well, the last minute they'll pass it again. It's going
Wait, so does that mean that Mike Johnson supports pedophilia? Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly.
Okay, that's all right. Let's run with that. Mike Johnson and the Republican Congressman
And
support pedophilia.
And they're about to go home to all their districts, which is going to be such a big opportunity to protest and get in their faces. They're going to be at town halls. Like, that's what happens in August recess, where like they go home to their districts and they got to talk to the people. So I actually don't know that that's going to make their life that much easier.
That would be
I think it's ambitious to
Michael
think.
Johnson, respects
I think it's ambitious to think that the Epstein thing will stay for 6 weeks in the news cycle.
Well, I don't think it's not gonna die. It's far from not. It's not gonna die.
Yeah, but think about how much new stuff could be drummed up before then.
See, no,
Lisa,
okay, I gotta ask Leo this question. I'm sorry for the noise. This is New York City, and I got.
I'm here too, Lisa.
Hey, welcome. It should be like 100 degrees today.
I know, it's nice and it's a nice outside, yeah.
No, but I don't know the weather, but it's been in the 90s.
It's in the 70s today.
It's freezing out here. It's freezing out here, Lisa.
You're in California. Be quiet.
Yeah. But so does that mean the Democrats should be doing?
I think Lisa was going to ask a question, so.
Oh, I was asking Lisa a question. Can I do that? Okay, thanks. So does that mean that, Lisa, the Democrats are going to do an anti-pedophilia town hall tour across Republican districts all over the United States in August, now that there's a recess through Labor?
Hey, you know what, you guys? They're crazy not to take advantage of this fucking layup. But we missed a lot of layups. You know, if they don't take advantage of the fact that this shit is trying to be squashed and pushed down, and that Obama's been pushed forward, I don't know what to tell you guys at this point. You know, all the shit I'm gonna start believing about Democrats that these freaking righties are talking about. So let's see what happens.
Let's take it out of the Democrat and Republican. I mean, pedophilia, wrong is wrong. I don't care what. I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat, but I'm just saying wrong is wrong. You try to put it back into something political. This is wrong on all levels. This is inhumane. All the stuff that's going on. And you know, you said earlier that Trump single-handedly. No, he didn't single-handedly do nothing. It's all the white supremacists in the United States who have a hand in this stuff. And it's all imploding. The whole idea of white supremacy in this country is imploding right now. They can't stop it. They're going to do everything like try to sully Martin Luther King Jr., sully Obama, do all this other kind of stuff. And I'm telling anybody who's white and think you're supreme right now, it's all imploding. Your time is over. Just give it a little more time, and there will be no more white supremacy in this land.
That's ambitious.
What did you say about it? You said there was no white supremacy. Are you serious? You just say that
there was not as we know it. This country is going to fall apart, and it's going to be white supremacy's fault. Oh yeah.
This time, my brother, when they have that dollar in their hands.
Patty, can you reiterate the ties to Roy Cohn? Can you reiterate the ties that they got?
Yeah, sure.
I don't think the people know. They need to know how connected these people are.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
amazing information. Thank you, Scotty, for doing it.
Oh, yeah, I'll be super quick about it, too.
Take your time and be thorough, because this is some amazing shit if you guys don't know it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I didn't hear what Scotty wanted to say first. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh yeah, I'll remind. Okay, so cool. Yeah, Roy Cohn got his start working as on the legal team of Senator Joseph McCarthy out of Wisconsin in the 50s. At the same time that J. Edgar Hoover was heading the FBI, which he did for decades. And what they did was prosecute communists, entertainers, anybody on the right, basically, to the point where they ran them out of their own business, they bankrupted them, and sometimes they killed them, like Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, that they ended up executing. Roy Cohn was the lead prosecutor in that execution. That was his first, really big case. Anyway, fast forwarding a little bit, we know how much the right wing in America and the FBI hated the people on the left, Democrats, socialists, communists. Fast forward to 1973, Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father and real estate developer, along with Donald Trump, were getting prosecuted by the federal government for discrimination against black people, not letting them into housing. And who did they hire? They hired Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn, again, was Trump's personal attorney and political fixer up until the time Roy Cohn died in 1986 of, yes, AIDS. And yes, he was a self-hating gay, never came out of the closet. Or on top of that, but that's a side issue. So Roy Cohn was also connected to Roger Stone, who they met in the late 70s, around 1980, to help Ronald Reagan win his campaign. And what am I missing here in connecting the dots? Roy Cohn was an evil fucking person, and he ended up, again, working for Trump up until he died.
Also, Epstein.
Don't forget about the bracelet.
Yes, thank you. So also, on top of that, Roger Stone was also the one who ended up getting a bunch of people together to expose Elliot Spitzer, the governor of New York, so that he ended up resigning. And on top of that, Roy Cohn was disbarred in 1985 because of some real shitty activity as a lawyer. To get disbarred, it's pretty tough to do, but nonetheless, he was disbarred. But one of the witnesses for Roy Cohn in 1985 was none other than Donald Trump himself, that he went on record as a character witness for Roy Cohn. At the same time, Roy Cohn was also Alan Dershowitz's attorney as well. Alan Dershowitz is all over the Epstein files as well. And on top of it, Roy Cohn, who ended up dying penniless because that's how he wanted to, and he also owed the IRS a lot of tax money because he was a scumbag and avoided taxes. He did leave one thing. He had one thing to his name, which was a diamond bracelet. That diamond bracelet was left after his death to none other than Donald Trump. And I think that's part of the story.
Now, Roy Cohn is the one who told, I'm going to let my little, I don't know too much as Scotty does, but I do know that he talks about Roy Cohn all the time, and Roy Cohn never told him never to admit to anything, to lie, until the lie becomes the truth. That was Roy Cohn, and there's a couple of biographies out on him. He was the original fixer, Scotty, right? Before he hooked up with, he was Donald Trump's original fixer. There's a lot of great, he taught Donald Trump everything he knows how to be a scumbag at the highest level. And then came his other fixer later on. So
my mom, she often would tell me this story. Just keep in mind, because we used to live near Trump Village. My mom always told me about this story where his dad had an attorney be his mentor, and she talked to him. My mother had been telling me this for years. Like even before he went into politics, my mother would always tell me this. So now I'm hearing more details of the story. I never dived into it. The most diving I did into Mr. Trump was his original name was Trump. And when I go back to his great-great-grandfather, he comes from a long line of Dodge drafters, and they left the country under scrupulous circumstances. I mean, if you begin to look at the lineage of where this came from, you will know that this is why he's become a subject matter expert at what he does. This did not just happen overnight. He was definitely groomed, and I believe my mother said that the attorney who was doing the grooming she said he was a homosexual. And she does. Yeah, my mom been telling me this for years. And my mother's not even into politics, but she always told me these stories. So now I have the other piece of it. Good job, bro. That was Scott that did that.
Spirit, yes.
Oh, thank you. Good breakdown.
It's all documented. There's plenty of evidence on it.
Yeah, no, but it's good when one of us has gone in and done the research and the homework and brings it to the floor, because we actually can tell, like, when somebody does that. So that offers a lot of value to the room, like when we lock in on something and bring it to the stage. Thank you.
I think the connection that's important that we talked about last night, Lisa, is the fact that this is a very small group of people, all interconnected, for decades and decades and decades. So we all know how scummy the FBI is. Well, J. Edgar Hoover was the head of the FBI. There's a building in his name for decades and decades and decades. And Roy Cohn was part of that machine. So I don't know if you're thinking the FBI is gonna be doing kosher shit in the late '60s or even up until today. I don't know. You better get your head checked.
Yeah, because isn't it funny how even John F. Kennedy couldn't get rid of J. Edgar Hoover?
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy couldn't even get rid of him. He had to hold on because of the shit that he had and the way he was moving in the FBI. He tried his damnedest to get rid of that man, and he couldn't get rid of him.
Oh, right. And separate from that, Roy Cohn had a lot of evidence. I mean, the FBI, as we know, taped everybody. But Roy Cohn also was suspected and maybe even convicted, I'm not sure, of blackmail and all this other stuff because he had a lot of evidence on a lot of people. So these people have been scummy and connected for a very long time, and Trump has been in that cycle, and you know for a very, very long time. This isn't new shit just because Trump became president in 2016. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah, because he couldn't get where he wanted to be, and that was with the elite of New York. And he is not the elite of New York. He could never get in with that crowd, with that old money, the people, the movers and the shakers. So that's why he ended up going to Studio 54 and hanging out with the rappers and all this kind of stuff like that. Because like they said, he was socially awkward. They didn't come from old money. His father's background was sketchy as hell. It's just a lot going on. So Trump is no fucking anybody to emulate. Look, we don't have to keep going over and over the stuff that he did while he was reporting, supposedly running his empire. How he screwed out on so many little people and big people for that. But he's just not a decent person. And to come to find out now that he spent most of his formative years allegedly dealing with minors, this guy should have never, not only been nominated, but to actually be in the White House now is a disgrace to the country. That's all I have to say.
Right, and just adding to that point, Roy Cohn also represented mafia bosses, Tony Salerno, Galante, John Gotti, Mario Gigante, and also George Steinbrenner.
That's correct.
New York Yankees owner for decades. So, and also the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York. I'm done.
And no, truth be told, guys, hold on, real quick. Truth be told, guys, is this, right? He actually runs his organization, his administration, like a mobster. He uses terms like "don't rat," "stay low." Like, look at the Kiss the Ring. The whole thing is based on mafia style rule. Like, just look at it. You guys can. It's not even hard to put the pieces.
No, he's
connect the
gangsta
dots.
style. I mean, this is all gangsta.
He runs it. Yeah, it is gangsta.
Gangsta style. It's our new America. Welcome to America.
Yep.
Lisa, I don't want to compete with you in any way, but if you know when you're going to be, basically when you're going to be done with this room, I will put up a room called Mike Johnson Supports Pedophilia, but I'd like to not compete with you. Do you have any idea when?
I have no idea because we have a thing with politically correct tonight. We still gonna, like I said, we can still have send people your send people your way. And you can go ahead and announce the time that you're going to do it in this room, so then you can get the people who are interested in being there. They can.
Okay, but my main objective is to make sure that regardless of when someone comes into Clubhouse, we aren't taking away from each other. Regardless of when somebody comes into Clubhouse, they can find this kind of information. That's my objective.
I appreciate you. It is nice. It's nice to know that we can work together on this, but I don't have any time right now. But I'll let you know. I'll come to your back channel and I'll let you know.
Yeah, we can think about it. There's no rush.
After the Steve Colbert stuff, if you saw all Jimmy Fallon, they all, after all this madness that's going on with him corrupting every industry that we have, I mean, I don't see how we can't get him out of the house at this point, because this is, honestly, he's coming from all angles. This is how bad those Epstein files are.
Yeah, and the mere fact that we are going to go on recess after they requested or subpoenaed. So what does it mean? Are they not going to go and talk to her until, when are they coming back?
After Labor Day.
Oh, hell, are you serious?
That's why I said, Lisa, they got 5 weeks to come up with all sorts of stuff, plan their strategy. Yeah, this will look totally different after Labor Day.
Yeah, I remember. Go ahead, bro.
No, real briefly, what comes to my mind right away is, hey, what's going on, family? What comes to my mind, shout out to Lisa holding the room down and Scotty, everybody, just more information is the only thing that's going to save the masses of the people. Less information is like public enemy number one. But number two, let me just say this, Maxwell, Ghislaine, how do you anticipate that conversation between them being? In my mind, if she came up committing suicide soon, that would fit the narrative that everything happens a certain kind of way. Because now they know she got some smoking guns. She and Comey, the one that prosecutor, knows a whole lot. So when you start seeing people, oh, we don't need Comey anymore around at all. We don't take the mic from a lot of people, because I think that's the number one fear that he has, is the connectivity. His connectivity to all kinds of, like you're talking about right now. That coming out, that'll force people to go down certain roads and have certain thoughts and certain conversations. And that scares him more than anything on this planet. And I think that's what, and like somebody brought out, who he's afraid of.
Right.
He got some people he's afraid of. Contrary to what he tells, contrary to what he tells.
Talking, see, let him finish talking. I'm tired of interrupting people like that. Cut it out.
Yeah. Contrary to how he tries to sell the world on he's the greatest thing ever walked Earth, he know there's some folks that he don't want to be on the bad side of. I'm sure of that. We're hearing that in this conversation right now. He know that there's some powers across this planet that was mentioned just right now by Scotty and whatnot, that are been coordinated, not just for decades, for a long time. And as the planet now is hungry for the truth, MAGA, not those way up there. They're not so hungry for truth to come out. But yeah, so go ahead and go to Battle of Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch and because in that process, bring it all out. The masses want to see what's really going on, man. Want to see the Wizard of Oz, pull the curtain back.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen that way, but it's happening. Trust me, there's a lot more coming out now than there's ever been out across the masses of the people and technology. And so the full story, I get your point. Maybe certain things won't. But people, one thing people learn, believe it or not, they're not stupid. Believe it or not. See, at the end of the day, folks like truth. Okay, I know you was going to go. That's why I had to preface it with saying, believe it or not, because I knew you was going to go there.
Hold on. I'll just get it. 10 seconds. Go right into it. My 10 seconds comment is that I was surprised how quickly all the MAGA influencers just switched when he started mentioning Obama and Hillary Clinton and arresting. So a lot of them are forgetting the Epstein thing and they're focusing on that. So the stupidity level is...
But a lot aren't. Focus on the ones that ain't dropped it just yet. And Mike Johnson getting kind of scared too. He falling in. You see, so where's Bongino? What's going on, Bongino? What's been happening? What? Bondi. So those pressing questions, because see, again, there's a government of the people, by the people, for what? For the people. And the people is 330 million. So, like he said, that's a very small percentage. That's on the list, quote unquote, but it's that file. It's all things related to Maxwell in the case and all these other people. Why she doing time? Them questions ain't gonna leave history. History books ain't gonna just let that fade away. So, but because the masses are way bigger than the elite top, and the masses is catching hell on Earth right now. That's a different time. So you can think it's all business as usual if you want to, but trust and believe. Oh, they on the run. The devil on the run.
My submission is that Ghislaine Maxwell.
There's a guy I cut off. Sorry, TC. There's a guy I cut off. I wanted to know.
What you wanted to say, son?
This is prevailing time. I think it's ironic the dichotomy of that he's releasing all these files regarding MLK and JFK. But at times, the irony is he wants to be known as this person. He's trying to rewrite history. All this is going to come out in time, whether or not he's alive or not. And it's unfortunate that we have to go through this. And I'm sad for our country for that.
Being that this is about Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King did one of his speeches. He said that the United States is going through the process just like ancient Rome. After, like he's saying, after Caesar was assassinated, all the other leaders that came behind tried to do something, were all crazy, tried to do something to try to save Rome, but Rome eventually, after some time, Rome eventually fell. And he said the United States of America at that time in the 60s was going through the same process. Now, the thing we have to think about also is once Trump, whether he leaves office or passes away from natural causes since he's about 80 years old, who's going to be the leader after him to try to save this country from imploding and being destroyed?
Marco Rubio.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it'll be Marco Rubio. I agree with that. Not only that, you also have a lot of undercurrent shifts that's happening in the country as well. Populations are changing. Densities are changing from various states like California, New York to southern states. You've got a conservative swing from the younger voting demographic. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see brand repositioning for the Republican Party to a younger demographic, issues that reflect more of their concerns. And I think that's also going to contribute to saving the country. Furthermore, on the topic of Epstein, I think Ghislaine Maxwell will get a pardon. I'm fairly certain of it. She'll get a pardon. And the Epstein issue will go away around the midterms because the Democrats don't know how to.
I agree with that. But TC, I do disagree with you on one thing. You said branding. Rubio's 5'7". How do you think he's going to end up being elected president?
So Rubio has positioned himself as a national security advisor, as the Secretary of State, as the chief diplomat for the United States, chief intelligence representative for the United States. I think he's established himself as a very competent legislator and negotiator. I think he's notched enough wins for the Republican Party to give him a second shot. Not only that, Napoleon was short, so.
He watched Elon Musk. He's been watching this whole thing with Doge. He's got front row seats to everything.
Well, I have to announce that CJ said that the Manchurian candidate is
J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will win the nomination.
No way.
That's all a lot for him to not win.
Not going to go anywhere.
J.D. Vance, I guarantee you, J.D. Vance doesn't have a small chance in real. Here's the reason why Marco Rubio's got it, right? Not only does
Marco Rubio has a better chance of winning any day. Like,
Okay, so I want to see
We already got to get off the mic. We already came to talk.
Thank you, Patty, please, because we can't hear. When you guys are all talking, believe it or not, we can't hear. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, so TC, go ahead. I just want you to make a electoral argument, not just who you like more.
Yeah, so we know that in the last election, when anybody had a chance, it was actually Marco Rubio that came the closest to the nomination, barring Ted Cruz.
It was actually John Kasich. John Kasich came in second. John Kasich came in second in 2016. That's the data.
No, but I'm talking about the wins of conservative states. Marco Rubio next to Ted Cruz had the most delegates. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
John Kasich did. John Kasich had the most delegates after.
We know John.
You talking about 2016 or 2002?
We're talking about 2016.
Well, I think Mark Rubio's got a lot more of a current resume, 2024, than right now. I think that means. I don't think Kasich is coming up.
No, I wasn't talking about Kasich. No, Vance. I think Vance will get the nomination. He has more of a resume than Rubio. He's a VP.
right, to reset the room, you guys, this has been a great conversation. We opened up this room this morning versus our evening room to talk about what's going on here with, I'm going to say her name right, Jesseline, and the situation with her and the connection that it has with Trump and the later connection with MLK. We haven't even got on that part yet. And as well as Obama. This is 100% disgusting that they would leave this shit open until September, but I really don't think it's going to go away. They might think it's going to go away, but everybody's going to be talking about it. What else could we be talking about? They're in recess, so what did they leave us with this hot-ass mess? So we played a clip giving you guys a history of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and then moving it forward, she has always said, and now you guys admitting that she's gonna get a pardon. God dang, how things are changing from day to day.
Lisa, can I make the final? Lisa, can I make the final dot connection just to reiterate? I know people.
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know.
Just because I want to, connect to the whole FBI and Roy Cohn and, McCarthy and J. Edgar Hoover and all of that, and Epstein. And the point being is that Alan Dershowitz, who we know is a staunch and always has been a staunch Trump supporter, who has also been a client of Roy Cohn as well, was also the defense attorney for Epstein in 2007, as we know, who was able to get the plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein in 2007-2008, where the prosecutor was was it Alex Acosta, who was the prosecutor in Florida at that time, who was able to give Epstein the plea deal with Alan Dershowitz as a defense attorney, and then Alex Acosta was of course appointed as labor secretary for Trump in 2017, and he served until 2019, where...
Wait, y'all didn't hear anything I said?
Let me just finish. Who was ultimately connected to the Epstein case so much, and when Epstein killed himself, he removed himself and resigned from the Trump administration. So I just want to make sure all of those dots were connected. Alan Dershowitz is still on the Epstein list, very close to Epstein, of course, and has been for years, and that's the connect.
Wait, you guys didn't hear anything I said? I was talking for the last 2.5 minutes.
No, because I was talking and you were on mute.
No. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I was answering the CEO's question of why Marco Rubio is more qualified or he has a higher likelihood of becoming the Republican nominee than any other candidate, especially J.D. Vance.
To reiterate, we didn't hear a word.
But can I ask you a question, TC?
Damn, bro, I was going into it. Okay, I'll be brief.
When you say that, let me answer my question and then continue with what you were going to say. The question is, when has a current sitting vice president who has not become the nominee of that party when they are eligible to run, when their boss, the president, is no longer running? When has that happened?
You'd have to go back decades. Right? So the only vice president to assume the position of president is Joe Biden, right? So you'd have to go back, and the last time we nominated a vice president, you'd have to go back decades.
No, well, Joe Biden didn't run and wasn't the party nominee in 2016.
Exactly. And that's the point.
Saying which VP has not become the party nominee after his boss has stopped serving.
Literally, you'd have to go back decades. I mean, George Bush's vice president didn't get the nomination. George Bush Senior, Reagan. Who was Reagan's VP? I mean, now we're going back
Bush.
50 years.
And he became the nominee and he became president.
Right, exactly. So you'd have to go back decades before that ever happened. As a matter of fact, the only vice president to get the nomination in recent political history is Joe Biden. That wasn't even following.
But he wasn't the vice president at the time.
Exactly. That's it. Right. Exactly. So you're adding to my point. That contributes to the reality that the likelihood of J.D. Vance.
Yeah, that means that J.D. Vance is more likely to be the Republican nominee.
No. You're wrong, dude. You're wrong. You have more recent experience. You have more recent history of senators and secretaries of state
getting the nomination than you have of vice presidents, especially vice presidents that follow the president. Even governors, you have more recent history of governors getting that with George Bush Jr.
But when the vice president was running, I'm talking about when the vice president is actually running.
You'd have to go back decades. Did you hear what I said? You'd have to go back decades. You'd have to go back decades, probably more than 40 or 50 years.
Okay.
You'd have to go back before that happened.
So you don't have an answer.
Are you dumb? Are you on crack? Did you hear what I said? You'd have to go back decades.
Richard Nixon was the
name.
for Eisenhower.
No, I answered this question 3 times. I said you'd have to go back decades.
Just actually the name of the person. That's it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't hear me. I said you'd have to go back. Okay, all right, fine. I don't have the answer. Fine. I'd like to finish. If I could. I appreciate it. Again, you'd have to go back decades. No, he's not. You'd have to go back decades. Excuse me. Can you go on mute? Please, so I can finish what I'm saying? Thank you. So again, it's a very obvious observation. What he's pointing out contributes to my point. That is highly unlikely that a vice president gets the nomination the year after the president leaves. You'd have to go back 40 or 50 years before that actually happened. Barack Obama's vice president didn't run for president. Donald Trump's vice president ran for president and lost. So again, you'd have to refute that reality as well, that vice presidents have run and lost in those elections. Not only that, you'd also have to you have to grapple with the reality that we have more recent history that secretaries of state has gone on to successfully get the nomination, like Hillary Clinton, okay, and run successfully. Not only that, you have to realize that J.D. Vance was a junior senator from Ohio, doesn't have the same name recognition that Marco Rubio has, doesn't have the same popularity that Marco Rubio has. And I remind you, Marco Rubio got like 98, 99 votes in the Senate. For his Senate confirmation, continues to be one of the more popular secretaries of state in the Republican Party, going back decades. Now, you also have to grapple with the reality that J.D. Vance has been sidestepped and sidelined by this administration, particularly by Donald Trump. Donald Trump hasn't given him any type of political wins. Marco Rubio has amassed relative power in the administration. Not only is he Secretary of State, he's the Director of National Intelligence, and he's assumed those powers given to him by the president. Donald Trump has essentially given him the rubber stamp for the Republican Party.
But he's
for those reasons.
I agree with you.
Hold on, see. You also have to read. See what the fuck is going on. Why are you like a rabbit?
Don't do that, okay? You can't talk over people. You just can't. Because you want the same respect when it's your turn. You can't. Save it, hold your breath, and save it until they land. Go ahead, TC.
Not only do you have all of those things going for Marco Rubio, but he's a former presidential candidate. Former presidential candidate.